Welcome in, everybody, to the Friday night live chat with Hafeman Bros. And a special guest tonight is Nicko. We're going up north tonight. I'm going up north tonight. I'm giving you a little play here. The tiny little glass. We're going to fill this up a bunch of times and drink it down. Ooh. Nicko, how you doing? Nicko's coming back. Oh, he's not here yet. Never mind. He's coming back. Oh, he's got the Tentacupo on the wall, though, which is pretty cool. There he's back. Nicko, Bucks.
I'm here. Bucks.
Let's go, Bucks. Talk about Bucks. Go.
That's official Project Home purchased for that one trivia night when you guys did that charity fundraiser, remember?
It's coming back. October 14th. October 14th. Right. Thursday night.
I'll be there.
Live from your living room.
Everything's live from my living room these days. Shout out to the Hafeman Bros Nation out there. Or Hafeman Bros Army. What is it? What do you guys? What's your fans called?
I just call them the faithful, the loyalists, the people who will put up. They're kind of like family because they put up with us through all of our crap. So that's like family, right?
In a way, we're all Hafeman brothers.
Oh my gosh, there it is. I'm having some problems with my eyes tonight, so I got to wear these so you guys don't freak out. Whew. But maybe I'm trying to be cool. I don't know. Who wore the sunglasses that night? Who was that?
That was Corey Hart, former Brewers player.
Man.
He's a Canadian pop star, and he also played first base and outfield for the Brewers. It was a pretty remarkable career for Mr. Corey Hart.
Nice. Hey, tell us about what you did tonight.
I have a special Packers shot in celebration of the graduating class of 2021.
Woo.
And I know Ben's not on right now, but his son is either graduated or coming up the next week or two. And my son graduated high school tonight, so I'm done with him, and there's a shot.
Hey, congrats, man.
He was just walking by in the background. I don't know if you heard. But shout out to all the kids out there. It's, like they say, an unprecedented year for all the students. And a lot of your audience is parents and knows all the trials and tribulations that the kids have had to go through the last year and a half. So it's a hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah, man. Wow.
We did in-person graduation. So everybody's masked up and everything, but we did in-person graduation. So we at least have that going for us.
Man, your kid now an adult and a high school graduate.
Yep. Still doesn't pay rent though.
That's coming soon, right? I mean, that's the next step. Now now everything's real now.
June 1st is right around the corner. So I'll see what his policy is on that, but I'm guessing he's not ready for that yet.
Hey, Bernard, we're just celebrating. Nick's son graduated tonight, so graduated high school. That's amazing. Hey, Nicko, congrats on that, man.
He did all the work. Say hi to him. Congrats, Vinny.
Hey, graduate. Congratulations, Vinny.
Thank you.
All right. Man, off to face the world. Take on the world.
That went out to dozens of viewers. He doesn't realize it.
Yeah. Ben's coming, I think, unless he fell asleep. I sent him a text. Not sure where he's at, Bernard. Although tonight, I don't know that we want to hear what he has to say because he wants to bag on Rodgers, and I think we should be done with that. I think we should move on to other stuff. But I'll give him 5 minutes to bag if he gets on here. We'll see how it goes. Mom says congratulations to Vinny and Grant.
Yep, I'm proud of those boys. Somewhere we got pictures of them where they're about 6 months old walking around. I definitely have one in my living room where Vinny and Grant were trying to figure out how to get out of a room when they were too small to reach the door handle. But I like the look of the reaching for something that's outside your grasp. There's something poetic to it. Another two big boys out to change the world.
That's awesome. I know that about you. You only keep really reflective and deep photos too in your art, the ones that you hang on to.
It's all about the memories, right? And as I get older, it's harder to remember things. So I need the pictures to remind me of like, oh, that was the time that I did something dumb, or that was the time that we went somewhere fun.
Oh man. Hey, speaking of, we went to a Bucks game not too
True.
long ago. Last year when we could in 19. But tell me, man, what's going on? Bucks, come on, 3-0 in the series. Everybody's worried about taking on the Heat.
Yeah,
Oh, scary.
it's crazy. They're much better than the Heat. It's really kind of a shocker to me that they lost to them last year.
I
Because
know.
this is a very similar Heat team to the Heat team that beat them last year. And I have to think that all the off the court stuff, I'll say, affected the Bucks last year. I know you don't want to get into all that, but I think there were some non-basketball reasons why they didn't beat the Heat last year, because they're much better than them. I mean, it's not even close. When you watch the first game was close, but these second two games, they were beating them by 30 points. Game 2, they had the highest lead in a first quarter in NBA playoff history. They were up by 26 after the first quarter. They're beating them on 3-pointers. They're beating them on rebounds. They're beating them. The Heat just look like a defeated team. They have been missing Oladipo. You might not even know he's on the Heat. I don't know if he played all that much for them this year. But one downside is the big ragu Dante DiVincenzo got injured. I didn't see anything hit him or if he just tweaked it or something like that, but he hurt his ankle and he is out for the remainder of the playoffs.
Yeah, so, they said tendon damage in his left ankle, left foot area. It's like, yikes.
You could see it when he was driving to the hoop, and all of a sudden he just had like that hurt face on him. He just twisted it the wrong way at the wrong time, and he is a starter. So he brings a lot of energy. He gets a lot of rebounds for a guard. He's a slasher. He'll slash in and grab a rebound on a missed shot. He's good at 3-pointers. They're going to miss his energy. But they got, like they say, next man up. You got to get in there and keep going.
You can get up for a white guy too. Come on, let's be real here.
I don't know if there's any difference in the jumping ability between. So that's for others to determine. But he definitely was a high energy guy, and he definitely he did have great leaping ability to go get a bunch of rebounds in the land of the big man there. So someone else is going to have to step up. He's been starting for a while. One noticeable difference for me between this year and last year, and Charles Barkley's been making this point too, is Holiday versus Bledsoe. Holiday seems to be a much better general for the offense than Bledsoe was, as far as a leader and making the right moves at the right time. Barkley pointed out that the last 2 years the Bucks were the first seed overall, but this team is third in the East, but they're better designed for playoff wins. So I like to hear that, although Barkley's predictions sometimes aren't great. He did call at halftime of Game 2 that the Bucks were going to sweep this series, and they're on pace to do it.
Dang, I'll say we'll talk Packers in a little while, but I want to say a couple more things about the Bucks. Yeah, I mean, I would say they don't go as deep on the bench this year as they were, say, in last year's team. So that makes the DiVincenzo injury a little more concerning. But I think they got enough to still play through everything, and it's versatility too with Holiday being there, and he can handle the ball, he can kind of run the offense at times, he can do different things. Middleton, of course, can do things that he needs to do. He's also a good passer. And then Giannis, I love the difference. A couple of things that I love to see about this Bucks team that was different, which I was clamoring for 2 years ago in the playoffs when they were struggling in that series against Toronto, was to be like, put Giannis down low and have him post up. Nobody posts up anymore, right? Let's freak him out and like take this dude and put him down low and post him up. And with Giannis not having to handle the ball all the time and bring it up on fast breaks, he can do all this different stuff. Or he can go to the low post, or even just be in a cut position where he's ready for a pass closer to the basket. And, when you don't have to handle the ball, you can take advantage of all those abilities. And that makes them a much more difficult team to defend, because you can't just wall off and be like, okay, we're just going to stop the dribble attack here, because they'll get to you other ways.
Yeah. And another key thing that you've seen in the playoffs is if a playoff series goes 5, 6, 7 games, a lot of teams have a second option to be the leading scorer. It's not the best for the Bucks for Giannis to have to be the leading scorer 6, 7 games in a row. If there's a game where he scores 10, 11 points, and they need to still be able to win, because there's going to be teams as you progress in the playoffs that are just focused on shutting him down, and then someone else to step up. Middleton has shown flashes of it. He can do it. But now I think like last night, Giannis didn't have a lot of points. I didn't watch the last 3 minutes or whatever when it was a blowout, but he only had like 13 points, I think, last time I saw, with almost at the end of the game. I didn't see how many he ended up with, but he hit like 11, 12, 13 points late in the game. But they were ahead by 30 because all the other guys were stepping up. Holiday was scoring. And they're going to have to continue that with DiVincenzo out, because Bobby Portis was third in the league in 3-point percentage, and Forbes was fourth in the league in 3-point percentage. So they have bench guys that can step up and score some points. So they're going to have to keep it rolling. The Nets are really scary, though. The Nets are a very, very scary team.
I was going to ask you about that next, but that is a couple of key things too. Bryn Forbes shooting it really well. Portis does a lot of things well. He can play inside, do some slasher things. He's hitting threes. He's been a really great addition too. So even though there's some different pieces, they've made themselves a stronger team. And look, like, I know they were the 3 seed this year, but they only won 2 less games than the Nets and 3 less games than the Sixers. So it's not like there's a huge difference between 49, 48 wins and 46 wins.
Right.
So they're all very good teams. I look at the Brooklyn lineup and I'm like, wow, when you look at it on paper, it's scary, right? You think, do the Bucks have the firepower to hang with those guys? But at the same time, I think the way the Bucks performed in game 2, I mean, that's like the most fun basketball to watch, right? Great execution, hitting shots, passing to teammates, the open guys getting the ball and they're knocking it in. Everybody's having a great time. That's incredible. I think that's what's more often for this team. They're going to perform like that than they are going to have a total dud shooting night. And as long as they can do that, they can hang with anybody. I don't care what these other teams are.
They can absolutely beat the Nets, but the Nets are going to be tough because they have 3 guys that can play at that elite level. And if you stop one of them, well, there's 2 guys that are still capable of putting up big games on you. You're going to have to stop 2 of them probably to have a chance of winning that series. The Bucks can take it to them that they're not the strongest defensive team. Blake Griffin cannot cover Giannis at all. He just can't. And then Harden has always, he's never been a defensive wizard. So you got to make him work, right? Because if he comes down and shoots a 3, and then he goes back and you just shoot a 3, then he'll just come up and down and shoot a 3, and he's not going to get worn out. You got to make sure he's using up some energy on the defensive end and putting some pressure on him to make sure that he's playing a full game. And then we always, as the small town team, we always have to be wondering how the refs are going to.
I will say too, another thing I noticed is Blake Griffin is like scoring almost no points. Like, he is not an offensive part of their team at all. So he's just doing a lot of rebounding, a lot of trying to play defense and rebound, stuff like that. And then, if he gets a cut or a dunk, whatever, or put back, that's kind of what he's relegated to. So even though you look at the name and you think, oh my God, 4 huge stars, Griffin isn't being utilized like a star.
Well, you're exactly right. It's not the Blake Griffin from 6-7 years ago. I mean, he knows what he's doing, and he's been around the league, and he can still do some things, but they don't use him as part of their offense really at all. I mean, you're right. He's had games where he doesn't hardly take a shot, and he was, such a vicious dunker for most of his career, and then he went like a year and a half without even having a dunk. So, he's just not really part of their offense.
Hey, Bernard says, I'm a Lakers fan. Hey, be a Bucks fan too, Bernard. How about Lakers Bucks in the finals? What about that? Huh? You should like that. That'd be pretty awesome. I just feel like you're right. The big difference for them, I think right now, is the Bledsoe versus Holiday. And one thing I'll say about Holiday, he's the exact opposite of Bledsoe. Bledsoe would like rush stuff and get himself into bad spots and then have silly turnovers. And Holiday just seems to be like always under control. He's not rushing it. He's not feeling pressured. He's relaxed. Even if he's getting into traffic, takes his time. and then kind of changes gears a lot, right? He'll kind of go a little, slow you down a little, and then couple quick acceleration to go for a layup or something. So that's such a different approach. And then on top of it, I loved, like, I didn't like the way they played game one because it was a lot of isolation, a lot of one-on-one stuff, which I think was why they didn't score as many points. Whereas in game two, they were passing the ball a whole bunch more and doing all that sort of stuff. But what I did like was I love the end of game one where Middleton was like, I got this. I just need to get to my spot, confidence. And he's rising up, and he doesn't need much time because he's tall enough to. Just gets that little opening. I'm shooting it. I'm doing it. I'm good. And then Holiday's finish, that block by him to finish that game, was crafty and something the Bucks have not had in a long time from guard play.
Right. Bledsoe would make an unbelievable athletic play to get a steal, and then dribble back up the other end and dribble the ball off his foot.
Yeah.
He was just so high and low, and he could do great things. But then he would just make a mistake that was like, oh, come on, man, what are you doing there? You made a great pass, and then your next pass you threw it out of bounds. So I think Holiday's been a little bit more steady, and he can score, and he can play defense. So I mean, he's a really good addition.
Yeah, and they already extended him to a contract too already. So he's locked up. He's on the team. And hopefully, I hope they get it done this year though. That would be wild, right? Lower expectations, and maybe that's the thing. You know, as a number 3 seed, the expectations aren't as high. You got the Nets are supposed to win. And the Sixers are supposed to win. Well, maybe the Bucks will a little pressure off of them, and they'll keep playing as a team and get through it.
Well, yeah, and Giannis won the MVP the last 2 years, and he's not going to win it this year. He's still an elite level player, but he use the teammates a little bit. I love it when he drives and dish, because he gets so much attention when he takes it to the rack, because he's got the most interior points in the league. But then they always double team, triple team, so there's somebody open on the perimeter, and we just got to knock those down.
Quick shout out to my man who's also pretty crafty, showed some inside moves. It doesn't always look pretty, but it goes in most of the time. Brook Lopez, still effective. Still effective down low on offense.
He can do it.
He kind of slow plays you, but he's just so big and has that big wide body that he gets a shot up and off and creates some space and makes it.
Yeah, he's been playing real well, and I like it. He's a 7-footer that played inside and then went outside, and then I think he got a little bit too much in love with the outside. He should be taking it to the hoop. He should be playing, like you said, he should be posting up sometimes. Shoot a 3-pointer to keep him honest, but then every once in a while he gets that mismatch where somebody will switch, and then he's got a guard on him, and then he's just got to bully ball it right into the hoop.
I will tell you, I got to give Coach Bud some credit, because I think he made that adjustment, because I have not seen this Bucks team and a bunch of NBA teams have as many post-ups and inside offensive sets as the Bucks have run in games I've watched this year. Like, that's just, they've brought that back. They've used Giannis, they used Lopez, use Portis once in a while, and sometimes even like taller guards or whatever can do it. But I like that, because then you're mixing it up. It's not just all about the 3-pointers, and if they're not going in that night, you got something else to go to. So I love that adjustment too. I think that they're prime, man. I'm not going to get too excited, but hey, 3-0. Let's finish off the heat and let's see where it goes from there.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah. All right. Ben said he was sleeping. Sorry, he'll be on ASAP. All right, that's fine. All right, what do you think about your Packers, man? We haven't heard from you about Packers situation. Yeah, I don't know if you want to say anything about what's going on or whatever, but I'll give you a chance to if you want before Ben gets in here.
I don't know. Has there been any news lately? They signed your boy Tunyon for an extension today, didn't they? Or was that,
yeah, he signed the tenure, I think so, or the tender. Yeah, he signed the tender, so is it just a 1 year again? Hopefully, they're working on a longer term contract than during this season, because I think they should. I think he's earned it.
I agree. I'm glad he's going to be for sure on the team.
Yeah.
Hopefully with Mr. Rogers throwing it. I know you guys.
It's not looking good, man.
Not looking good. He's having a lot of fun out in Hawaii. I don't know. It might be rough.
You know what though? Let's say this real quick.
Positive he's coming back.
You think he's coming back? I don't know, man. I don't know. I like your positivity, but the one thing I'll say is, it's not looking good. I don't think it's happening. I think, like I said on Wednesday, I think there's too many things that have happened that can't be taken back. There's too many things that have been done and been said. And over the years, I think they're just like body blows to him, and with the relationship kind of fractured things. And maybe that's it. And that's okay. I mean, the one thing, like, people are bagging on him and slamming him, and they've done that for a long time, some of these guys. And I get it. Maybe, you disagree with the way he's handling it. Maybe say shut up and play your contract and let the team trade you or cut you after this year or whatever, or just come play football. I understand people feel like that. But I mean, regardless of how we got here or how this ends, think about the last, 13 years of the Green Bay Packers and how many incredible memories you have because of that guy, right? Or where he was a part of it or a big part of it. And don't forget about all that stuff. Anyway, that's just my take. I think it's not looking great. And the other thing I'll say is, hey, man, when you're in love, you do crazy stuff for love, right? So maybe he's like, hey, I'm going to just not go to OTAs for the first time ever. I'm going to hang out with my girlfriend because I'm in love and I'm enjoying this. So whatever.
Players have missed OTAs before and still been on the starting lineup.
Yeah, it's true. Farvey didn't go like the last 3 years, I think, or 4 years he was on the Packers. I read something about that too last week.
Voluntary means you don't have to go.
That's true. It's true. It's
like
he's
not missing mandatory stuff, voluntary stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. At this point, though, do you really think, I mean, I know you're hopeful, but do you really think there's a way to resolve this, have him come back and play this year and everything kind of smooths out and works over? Or you think it's just going to be a circus if he comes back?
I think if he shows up and they're winning, everything will be just fine.
It's true. Winning does solve most things.
As long as if he goes out there and puts up 110 yards and 4 interceptions, then yeah, there's going to be some stuff going on. If he's throwing for 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and a win, everybody's going to be like, oh, that's my quarterback.
Oh man, people are, well, I guess winning solves a lot of ills. That's for sure. Hey, anyway, okay, let's not talk about that then. I'm sure Ben will try to bring us back to it when he gets in here. But let's talk about this. What do you think about? Have you heard anything about this new defensive coordinator, Joe Barry?
I know that. Well, yeah, I know a few things. So everybody always gets excited for change, right? It's always exciting when there's something new because then you don't know what's going to happen. We've kind of been not super impressed with the Packers defense the last couple of years. I mean, they've been okay, but could have been better. I know Joe Barry wasn't he on the Lions when they went 0-16?
I think so, but let's not hold that against him. That's not all him. It's not all him, man.
I know it's not all him, but I just saying, you asked me what I know about him. I know he went 0-16 once. So that's not great, but is he better than the last guy? Maybe. We'll find out. I think I heard something that they want to try and use the Smith Bros and Gary on the field at the same time every once in a while. I don't know how that'll work out, but we'll see.
I'll give you a quick update. Preston Smith came in, slimmed down, lost the belly fat a little bit. So he's supposed to be.
Tell me his methods.
Hey, if I knew, I would be doing it myself. I'll tell you too. But sorry, I don't think this helps. But anyway, the point is, yeah, he's slimmed down a little faster. Kenny Clark's a little slimmed down, a little bit quicker. One thing that I thought was really interesting. I'm going to get to the biggest factor, I think, in just a second. But one thing that was interesting that Kenny Clark said in his interview when they asked about it, he said, look, it looks like, it feels like the things we're doing right now, it's simplified, it's simpler, so we can just play faster and it's not as complicated. So I think that's huge, right? Like defensive football, when you make it overly complicated, you got guys thinking, and they can't be the aggressors and they can't react as fast because they're thinking about too much stuff. So I've said that for a long time. I don't know how you feel about it, but a simplified game plan where people at least know what they're doing and can act and react quickly in my opinion, makes much better defensive football than complex game plans that you're just trying to trick people. Because sometimes you trick yourself.
Well, coaches like to get a little cute sometimes, right? And they're like, "Well, we can't do this because we got to do 97 variations on all this." Or, sometimes it just works, right? You call what it is, and you game plan. You look at it all week, and you're like, "Well, I think they're going to run it on this one to the right," and then you get your guys loaded up in there and you tackle them. It's all a matter of execution, right? You can come up with the best plan you ever want, but if your guy's staying in the hole where he's supposed to be and he misses the tackle, well, then all your plans are out the window. So it's all about execution, and I'm always excited for something new when there's a chance that things will get better without adding any exclusive personnel. I don't know if the plan is for Stokes to start anytime soon, so I don't have any new players on defense that are going to be getting a lot of snaps. So we got to go with the guys that we had last year that were decent.
Well, there's a lot of talk about the defensive backfield being so very good and so talented, and I would say in some spots that's true, and others, I maybe, I don't know, hopefully. And then the other thing is, they're pretty jacked up about, like what you said, working in more of those pass rushers. I think Gary's primed to make a big impact, but he needs more playing time, right? And it was interesting. I watched Mike, the outside linebackers coach, Mike Smith, right? I think is his name. And I watched his press conference too. He's a really interesting guy, like straight shooter, cool, really, really down to earth. He had a really great interview or press conference, whatever. But in it, he talked about how they worked Gary in so slowly and how that was the plan and all this sort of stuff. And he expects a big leap in year 3, but I still don't quite understand, at that position, why you would give the guy so few snaps in his first year. And still, hey, Ben, not even that many snaps last year. Like, hey, he was looking good. Get him on the field more. Let's see more of him because he was a number 12 pick in the draft. Let's go, man. Go play football, bro. So hopefully they really unleash him this year because he did a lot of good stuff last year. Hey, Ben.
What's up, dudes? Nicko! Jason, I've seen you in a couple weeks. What's up?
Vinny just graduated tonight. Graduated.
Oh, graduation was actually tonight?
Yeah.
Out there, man.
Holy crap.
He already moved out. He just left his house and said, bye, Dad. See you later.
Wow. Empty nester already? Like that? Just like that?
That's why I got him a suitcase for his birthday.
You sound like my Uncle Bruce.
Yeah.
I remember Uncle Bruce. He's like, yeah, those kids graduate. They're out of here. Or something like that. I remember he used to say stuff like that. Of course, he had 4 kids. That might have been why he was like that. But, well, that's awesome. Yeah, Grant had his last day of high school today, and his graduation ceremony is like next Saturday, except they changed the place like 3 times. Now it's like just outside in the like football field or some crazy crap. I don't know what's going on. It's weird. I think we could only bring 6 people, including ourselves.
We could only bring 4, but they did it inside.
Okay.
But also 51 degrees out, so that was kind of a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It was like 42 over here today. So yeah, that's awesome. Well, hey, hopefully we'll get over. I'm thinking July. Was it July 20? What was it? 24.
Vinny's his graduation party is July 24th.
Yeah, sounds good. I don't know if you got an invitation for Grants yet.
Not. I don't think so.
Okay, no, it's my fault.
All right, let's talk Packers.
You guys work on that later. Nicko's got a birthday coming up too.
Yeah, he does. He's not that old though.
No.
Well, look at that. Not too bad, huh?
Yeah. All right. All right. So Joe, I want to say one thing that's awesome about Joe Barry, Nicko. I don't know. It's only a couple-minute video, but if you go to the Packers website and check it out, they did a mic'd up with him. And one thing that is markedly different than Dom Capers or Mike Pettin is this guy is super energetic and like, let's go. And he's just like rah guy, like bring up the energy. And that was one thing that without the fans last year, the defense lacked energy. When they didn't have fans, they played like garbage. They just played with no energy. So at least you hope this head coach or the defensive coordinator guy, head defensive coach, is going to be like, let's go, let's go, let's go, get them charged up and ready to go each game. So I'm looking forward to that.
All right.
As well as simplified play where you don't have to think so much. You can just play, like Kenny Clark said. Did you hear that one, Ben? Simplified so we can play faster.
Yeah, I'll believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. I'll say this. He seems more like a cheerleader than a coach, which scares me. That scares me a little bit. Okay. I want to see his schemes. What's he going to do scheme-wise? The other thing, I watched all the individual defensive coaches' video. I'm a little concerned about the inside linebacker coach. I don't really know if he knows what's up. I got to be honest. He seems kind of like out of his mind, a little wackadoodle.
I didn't listen. I didn't see that one. Who's that?
Yeah,
Which one was that guy? Which one was that guy?
Kirk Olkenblurkiskomagagi. I can't remember what his name is. Whatever. He doesn't seem quite like he's got all the marbles going on there. I don't know. He seems like a nice guy. The other problem is the only thing that changed was the defensive coordinator. All the individual coaches for all the different positions stayed the same. So are we going to still see Kevin King as opposed to Josh Jackson? Are we still going to see Kamal Martin as opposed to Ty Summers? Are we still going to see not as much Kingsley Kiki as we need and way too much Zadarius Smith slacking off? These are things I would like to know. Can this new defensive coordinator get in there and say some things? I know this much. The new defensive coordinator, Joe Barry, did say Ty Summers' name. Well, that's a start because we all know that good old Mike Pettin didn't even mention Ty Summers.
He did it when the very first question asked of his press conference was to Rob Domovsky.
Yep.
Who's like, so what do you think right away? He starts it off with the new defensive coordinator, first time out talking to him. What do you think about, Kamal and Chris? You got those two guys inside. What do you think about them? And his response was, yeah, we got those guys, but we got OB and we got Ty Summers too. So maybe Joe Barry, the dream could come true, and he totally gets it. Domovsky quit being an idiot and pushing for those guys. Let this guy figure out that Ty Summers is the man to put him in the game because he's the man. Unleash Ty Summers. Unleash Rashawn Gary. Let's go fast.
Yeah. The other thing, real quick, we obviously aren't at the practices. I mean, I live in Rochester, and you live in Madison, and Nicko lives in Beaver Dam.
BD.
We're not at the freaking practice, but Andy Herman was.
Bernard.
And Andy Herman said, hey, Chris Barnes was in there, middle linebacker a lot, but you know who else was in there a lot? Ty Summers. He also said Ty Summers was like vocal and like leading the defense and like knowing what's up like all the time. So that's interesting. He said he was out there more than Kamal Martin was. And when Ty Summers was out there, he was the guy who was like, hey guys, this is what you got to do. What are you doing? Get over here. Let's go. Quit screwing around, blah, blah, blah. And that's cool. I like that. Because he should be that guy. He should be the guy on the field most of the time. He's most athletic. The only thing that scares me is when they ask the inside linebacker coach, hey, with this new Joe Barry scheme, what's it like to, what's the new scheme going to be for the inside linebackers? He was like, well, I mean, the job description is the same. I mean, you got to, wherever the ball is, you got to go get the ball and you tackle them. And I'm like, wow, I could coach inside linebackers if that's all you got to do is say, hey, find the guy with the ball and go tackle him. Really? That's really a genius move. Holy crap.
That's what Kenny Clark meant when he said simplified. Right, Nicko?
I guess so. It's, hey, find the ball and then tackle the guy who has it.
How does that sound to Nicko? Find him and tackle him.
What's your job? Kill everyone.
Right? Which one is that? The program?
The program. Yeah. Well, it's also who else is it? Kill everybody. That's all their job is.
Hey, there's a Hall of Fame head coach who got into her last year ahead of Mike Holmgren, who used to look at Greg Lloyd and just say, rush the quarterback. That was his coaching, was rush the quarterback. It wasn't, there's no technique. There was no defensive plays. It was just Greg Lloyd and Chris and Kevin Green rush the quarterback. So if Bill Cowher, who is a Hall of Fame head coach, and that was his coaching, apparently this is good enough to be inside linebacker coach, and say, if you see the guy with the ball, go tackle him. Okay. I'm a little scared. I got to be honest. I'm a little scared about that.
Don't be scared, Ben, because Nicko follows Zadarius Smith on Twitter. Nicko, what did he say on Twitter?
I actually don't follow him on Twitter, and I don't.
Who does he follow? What?
All right, finish, Nick. Sorry.
I was just gonna say when Ben mentioned the Hall of Fame, do you think that the Packers' chances are increased this year by Todd Rundgren getting in the Hall of Fame for rock and roll?
I don't even know who that is.
He's the guy that sings, "I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the drums all day."
No way.
And
really?
He is in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame this year.
You know what's really sad, Nicko?
What?
There's a lot of people in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And you know who's not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, Nicko? I'll give you a hint.
You move your head a little bit, yeah.
That's a bunch of crap. What?
Maybe.
That's a bunch of crap.
Song good is "I don't want to work. I just want to bang on the drums all day." They could get in.
Well, it's a great song. Don't get me wrong. But, I mean, Pearl Jam's in. Nirvana's in. You know that Foo Fighters is in the Rock and Roll Hall? Foo Fighters? Really?
I didn't know that.
Really? Really?
They let almost everybody in there.
You know that Dave Grohl doesn't even know what he's doing on guitar? He has no idea.
He's a drummer.
You're right. When he came up with that one song, the Everlong song, I watched the video the other day of him showing explaining how he wrote the song. And he didn't even know what the hell he was playing. He's like, that sounded cool. So I just kept doing it. And that's what he did. He just kept doing the same thing over and over again. And it was different and weird. And no one never heard anything like it before because it's not a guitar player playing it. It's just a drummer playing it.
That's one of my favorite songs of all time. And I support them being in the Hall of Fame.
Well, you're wrong. You're wrong. He sucks. They suck.
You don't have to hate on. Don't hate. Just say Alice in Chains should be in. That's
no. But here's the problem. I work with this guy Chris, right? And all Chris ever does, every time a song comes on by Alice in Chains, because we listen to the radio and working back there sometimes, and I'll be like, yeah, and then like Tool, and I'll be like, Tool, woo, and he's like, Tool sucks, and I'm like, what? And he'd be like, Alice in Chains stinks, except for Heaven Beside You, and I'm like, Heaven Beside You is the crappiest Alice in Chains song of all time. Don't get me started. And then Winger will come on, and I'll be like, Winger, and he's like, what is this crap? I'll be like, dude, Winger, Alice in Chains, Tool, way better than a lot of these guys. Then a Guns N' Roses song come on, and I'll be like, these guys suck.
Bernard,
he's like,
Bernard likes you too.
He's like, they're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Winger's not in there. Alice in Chains isn't in there. Tool isn't in there. And then another song will come on by Foo Fighters. He'll be like, they're in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then another one will be like, AC/DC, which is fine, but I'm like, they're kind of simple and I'm not a fan. And he's like, they're in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. They're better than that. They're better than Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains isn't even in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's blasphemy right there. And better than Alice in Chains. Don't even say it.
That's what I'm saying. But I got to hear this crap at work every freaking day, pretty much.
Yeah. You got to. And
it's like, dude, you don't know anything about music. You're a freaking moron. The Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is a bunch of crap.
Woo!
A bunch of crap. Period.
Well, it's clearly oversight if Alice in Chains isn't in there in some of those places. Now, Bernard says he loves you too.
U2 is pretty good. Twisted Sister is not very good, but they are funny.
Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden is okay. Winger, Alice in Chains, Tool. Those are the bands. Queensryche is pretty good. That's the bands. If you want a rock band, that's where you go. And Counter Void. They're good. That's the other thing. Chris always brings up the fact that I'll say somebody sucks, and he'll be like, well, they're a lot more successful than you. And I'll be like, thanks. Thanks for making it personal, butt monkey. And that's it hurts my feelings.
Nicko, go.
I can get, we've been having this talk for 25 years, but I can get with you on Alice in Chains, and I love Tool, but the Winger love, Ben, come on.
Dude.
You just got to put on your Stewart, the Winger shirt and just be a nerd.
I am a nerd. I have no problems. I'm a music nerd as well as a nerd. And that's why I like Winger. I mean, when the lead singer and bass player and main songwriter is also a classical composer, you got to like that band. I'm sorry. The guy's a musical genius. He studied and studied his craft. He's not some random guy who doesn't even know how to play guitar and write a hit song and then make the Hall of Fame when he doesn't even know what he's doing. That's what drives me nuts. Oh my God.
All right. Hold on. Let me just say this. Real quick.
All right, go ahead.
All right. Nicko, you go. I can say it after you're done.
I was
Sorry,
going to say Winger is best known for writing a song about how he wanted to bang a 17-year-old girl. And that's
He was doing that. He wrote about it. It was a true experience. It wasn't that he wanted to. He was.
well, I don't know if that works out so hot.
She was a supermodel. It's not his fault that she was. He didn't know she was that young. That's the whole point. Have you listened to the words?
That's
He's
it.
like, here's a super hot chick, and I was doing
Hafeman
stuff
Bros
with her, and
is
then all of a sudden she's like, "Hey, I'm only 17." And he's like, "Crap, that's the song." He's like, "It's a real song that happened," and he was like, "Oh my god."
right.
I guess I'm gonna write a song because what else am I gonna do about this?
Not hook up with 17-year-olds, I guess is probably.
It's Rachel Hunter. What's he supposed to do? He didn't know. She didn't look like she was 17. Did you see Rachel Hunter at that time? She looked 25, dude.
Cancel.
He didn't know. Give him a
Cancel.
break.
You're all canceled.
I just want to say, I pay for bros. We don't condone that. Just so you all are aware out there. The one thing I was gonna say is this: like, I was never so fully on board with Ben's extreme winger love for such a long time until we saw Kip Winger live in person play a gig by himself in Milwaukee. It was in Milwaukee.
Yeah, at Shank Hall. I don't even know if that's even still there.
Little tiny bar,
tiny little
basically.
dump in the middle of downtown Milwaukee.
And
I
he
thought maybe
brought it
at Applebee's.
You saw him at Applebee's?
He's my waiter.
Oh,
Dude,
that's terrible. Anyway, this is serious. He came in with his 12-string guitar and played all these songs, and I was impressed as hell. And he played this one instrumental song that has like all these different strings and all these parts and all this percussion and all this, and he did it all on his 12-string. And my jaw was like on the ground. I was like, damn, that is impressive stuff. Nicko, if you'd been there, you'd see more of the ability and you'd be a little bit more in line with it. Now, I also
Kip Winger is the Don Makowski.
That's true. That's true.
Of music.
I also don't condone 60.
You're the only one that thinks that's a compliment.
I also don't condone 50-something and 60-year-old rock guys still playing rock music and be like, yeah, let's crank it up. And I think you're a little too old for that. But it's fine. I mean,
hey, I'm almost a 50-year-old rock guy who's going to be doing that, hopefully. So shut up. I'm 46. I got 4 more years, and I'm 50, dude. Man, I'm old. That's why Nicko's birthday's coming up. He's always going to be younger than me. So it doesn't matter how old Nick is. I'm like, yeah, you're young.
That's true.
Oh, Mom says,
you know who's always older than us, Nicko? Ekis. Ekis is always older than us.
Oh, man. Hey, Ben, Mom says, besides your mask, you should wear earplugs so you don't have to listen to that guy at work. So.
Whoa.
Oh, Chris? Oh, yeah.
Just wear earplugs. It's good.
Well, me and Chris got in a fight yesterday.
Oh, it's personal.
Well, you know me. I'm kind of opinionated. And something happened where everybody was, nobody wants to hear this. Well, I'll try. I'll make it short. Let's put it this way. People know I have a pretty high work ethic. I like to work hard, but sometimes I just want to work consistent. That's it. I don't need to bust the hump or whatever. And I don't need everybody I'm working with to bust the hump. But the other day, there was probably half the people who were just kind of slacking it and whacking it. And I'm just and we had a crap ton of stuff to do. And over the last couple of years, my role and my description has changed because of the COVID stuff and other things. And the company has changed my role and whatever. So I'm no longer considered a leader or whatever in my title, but they still expect me to do the same job. Well, the problem is then people don't want to listen to me. So then for the last couple of months, I've just been okay, well, I guess I'm just a guy. I'm just going to be a regular guy at work and everybody else just works. And everybody just works and whatever. But anyways, people are slacking it, whacking it. And they can't do their job until this other stuff gets done. And so they'll come back and they'll look at something. They'll be like, oh, okay. And then they'll leave. And then they just go stand around for an hour talking to each other instead of helping get stuff done. And I'm like, what are you doing? You can't do your stuff until the stuff gets done. We're man down here. And you're slacking it, whacking it. And I started talking smack about everybody. And then Chris goes out and tells everybody what I said. So then I was public enemy number 1.
Oh.
So everybody was pissed at me because I was all saying they were slackers and whackers. But they were. I mean, come on. If it wouldn't hurt if it wasn't the truth. And that's the problem. So yesterday we got a big fight, and then I just didn't talk to him anymore the whole day because I was like, well, I'm not going to talk to you because apparently whatever I say to you. There's another time way back when. This is a good joke, good story. There's this girl. She was super good looking. She was one of the manager people. She was nice. I liked her fine, but she was a cute girl. But when she talked on the headset, over the PA system and stuff, she sounded like a grandma. You know what I mean? Like she was like a sweet, like I sound like a sweet old grandma, like the lady from Wedding Singer. Like every time you heard her, that's what I pictured. But then, of course, in real life, she was like a smoking hot like chick, right? So you're like, well, so one day I'm just working with Chris, and she came up over the PA, and I was like, man, she sounds like an old grandma, and all this kind of stuff. So then we walk out the door. We're walking through the store, and there she was. She's coming this way, and then Chris is like, hey, whatever. Ben says you sound like an old grandma when you talk on the PA. And I'm like, you freaking moron. And then she looks at me, and then she didn't talk to me for like 2 weeks. I was like, I didn't say you look like an old grandma. I didn't say you are an old grandma. I just said you sound like an old grandma. But then she was all mad at me for like 2 weeks because I said she sounded like an old grandma. Whatever. We can talk about football or what?
Ben,
I just woke up, so I'm crazy. I don't know what's going on.
One more thing. What's the lesson from both of these experiences for you?
Don't talk to Chris ever because he's an idiot.
Or
he's one of the guys who I would grab his phone and subscribe to Hafeman Bros, and then he would go and unsubscribe when he goes home. And then
dang, there's somebody that does it.
Right. And then a couple of days later, I'd grab his phone and be like, God dang it. And I'd resubscribe him. And then he'd unsubscribe again. Well, I've stopped subscribing him. So that's one of the reasons why we kept going up and down, because I would grab his phone and subscribe him, and then he would unsubscribe. So whatever.
Nicko, did you let me ask you about Packers here for a second?
Packer talk.
All right. I mean, you can elaborate on Ben's situation if you want, but
sounds like he's heading for a heartbreak with that Chris guy.
Oh man. I was gonna say I hope the lesson was that Ben just would realize he should just not say stuff. Not talk trash about people.
I can't help it. You know me. If you haven't figured it out yet, I'm just going to tell you what it is. I mean, listen, I don't have many friends, okay? Because people know I just tell you the way it is. So you have to be able to live with that and be like, hey, this guy's a jerk, but at least he's going to be honest and tell me what's up, but I know that I can trust him. And people can trust me because I'm going to tell you the way it is. Just like Nicko. And I tell him, Nicko, you're a great guy, but sometimes you're a jerk. Actually, he's not really. He's never a jerk. I should never say it. Nicko's always been a great guy. That's the other problem. The only time I keep friends are guys that are such good guys, they won't get rid of me. Like Nicko, Ekis. Those guys are too good of guys. They'll be like, as much as a jerk Ben is, I'm too nice to ignore him. So they'll still let me hang around, which is I appreciate Nicko and Ekis for that.
Yeah. Your parents have been sending me a check every month for a couple of years now. So it helps out as far as, and June 1st is right around the corner. So
that's like Billy Madison. So you're telling me like if Billy Madison got through school because his dad paid off the teachers, my parents paid you off, so you still have. So I have at least one friend that's not related to me. Thanks, yep. Mom and Dad. At least they care about me. That's good.
There you go. Hey, Nick asked about the people that come and hang out on our show a lot and do chat and hang out and watch, and I said they're kind of like family because he's like, what do you call them, your followers or this or that? And I'm like, they're kind of like our family because they put up with all of our crap and sometimes stupid stories and other stuff, but we appreciate them for sure.
Hey, a lot of these guys we've known for years and years. I spent a lot of time, and then some of them like Bruce, never met him before. He says I met him once. I don't know.
Right. You ignored him when you met him.
I was like, who's this guy? Whatever. Same thing I used to do with Brad. I'm in a band now with Brad. First time I ever met Brad, he came up to me and he was like, I'm a Winger fan. And I was like, really? What's your favorite Winger song? He said 17. And I was like, you're not a Winger fan. And I just walked away from him. And now we're buddies years and years later. But that's one of those things. Mo, Nicko, Ekis, Browner, those are all like the nicest guys in the world. And that's the only type of guys that can put up with me. And then Jason, because he's related to me, he gets stuck in that same sort of bubble with me. Sorry, Jason. But that's just the way it goes. But those four guys, who have been on the show quite a bit, are guys who they're probably like four of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, as well as Jason, who's one of the nice guys. I mean, to be honest, I am the outlier here. I'm the guy who's kind of the big fat jerk. But I take that role on, and I'm okay with it. And people get pissed at me, and they're going to get pissed later on. Well, whenever we get going here, I know you already talked about it, but I got some things to say that Bernard is not going to like. I
got a question. I don't think you need to bag on Rodgers, but if you do, I got a question for you.
I got a question for you.
and we're going to keep it to 5 minutes. First, Nicko, offensive line. Nicko, with David Bakhtiari possibly being out to start the Packers season.
Yep.
How do you feel about the way they lined up at OTAs with that O-line of Elton Jenkins at left tackle, John Bunyan at left guard, the new kid, Myers at center, Lucas Patrick, my man, right guard, and then Billy Turner, right tackle. But, other than that guy, those other 4, how do you feel?
I mean, could work. I don't. We haven't really seen the center yet to know how good he is. But if they're willing to throw him out there, he must be halfway decent. Turner's
best center.
Beg to differ. Billy Turner, he's out there.
Well, they have their heart set on Turner, so I think he is a starter for them for the foreseeable future.
Why did you see anything else from Billy Turner that we missed? I mean, that was positive.
I mean, it seems like that you could find someone better than him for cheaper. I mean, there's guys out there that you could, grab. So
I don't know if you heard this, Jace. You might not like this.
Okay.
Andy Herman also said there were a couple snaps with the first team where it was Jenkins.
Stop it.
I'm just telling you, it was Jenkins, Runyon Bunyan, Myers, Billy Turner at right tackle, and Royce Newman at right guard, not Lukey Patrick. Not a non-muscular tackle trying to play guard. Now, he said, I don't know maybe Lukey Patrick got hurt. Maybe he needed a break. He doesn't know. It wasn't like a whole bunch of snaps, but there were a couple snaps where that was the offensive line, the number 1 unit, where Lukey Patrick wasn't in there, and Royce Newman was. So, I don't.
Somebody get hurt, and he'll get back in there, and then he'll keep doing what he always does, which is block to the whistle and try as hard as he can and kick. Piss off guys like Akeem Hicks, which he dominated against the freaking Bears, if you don't remember, stupid Packers. They do that to my guy this year. I'm telling you, man. I don't know. I'll be tested.
Well, that's the question I have, because we got to get into it now. This is the one thing that bothers me with the Aaron Rodgers thing.
Okay.
His whole people, it's about the people. It's about the people. It's about the people. It's about the people. That's all he said is it's about the people. Well, that's funny because let's see. He watched Scotty Wells get kicked to the can. He watched Ryan Pickett get kicked to the can. He watched Colin Jenkins get kicked to the can. He watched Double D get forced to retire. He watched Tremont get kicked to the can. He watched Josh Sitton get cut right before the start of training camp, which I agreed with. Don't get me wrong, but he watched that. He watched TJ Lang get kicked to the can. Jordy Nelson get kicked to the can. Wow. Who else? His best buddy, Randall Cobb, punch you out of town. Greg Jennings, he was telling the opposing teams to go pick up Greg Jennings. He was so concerned about the people. He was like, hey, everybody go here. You can pick up in the middle of right before a game they were going to play. What I'm trying to say is he had many opportunities to let us know how upset and how it was about the people and the people and the people. It's about the people. Not only that, I'm pretty sure the head coach is a people or a person. And he tried to get that guy out of town, and he was successful.
As you're
speculating. I'm not done.
You're speculating.
But when it comes to the people, but now all of a sudden, something happens to him, and it's about the people. It's about the people. Wrong, Aaron frickin' Rodgers. It's never been about the people. The Packers don't care. They're not green and gold. They don't bleed like us. They don't give a crap, and neither does Rodgers until it's personal to him. Every time he said people, change it to Aaron Rodgers because that's where it is. He didn't give 2 craps about any of those other guys. Well, he does love Jordy. Okay, he loves Jordy and Randall Cobb. I'm not saying that. But did he bring it up then? Did he bring it up then? Was he so concerned? Was he? No.
He made public statements about those guys. He made public statements about a number of the guys you mentioned.
All I'm saying is this: if you're gonna be, butthurt when the team decides to draft your replacement, I don't know. Aaron Jones watched a guy get drafted in the second round last year, a running back in the second round. That's kind of a big move, especially when you were a 5th round pick and it's your contract year. That would concern me a little. And what did Aaron Jones do? He just went out and worked hard, busted his butt. And I was reserved to be like, okay, they're not going to sign him back. They signed him back. And why? Because he's a positive guy. Because he works hard.
And you need multiple players at that position. Quarterback,
you don't need to pay that much money for it. What I'm saying is, this guy is, I keep hearing, especially you, Jace, I'm getting sick of hearing because I haven't been out in a while. So I got to see the Jason by himself, which is the Aaron Rodgers love fest. Good God, I want to barf almost every time I watch you. But anyways.
That's ridiculous to say. I'm trying to bring some stability to the situation.
I'm trying to bring reality to it.
Oh, please.
I love you, but for God's sake, dude. Aaron Rodgers is a selfish diva, always has been, and it's not his fault. He's a quarterback. He's an MVP level player. He's a great player. That's the thing. Everybody gets mad at me, like, man, stop hating on Ryan. I think he's an awesome player. He always has been. He always is. Shut up. Go out there and show everybody what you are. But now it's just like, and the worst part is this. I want to know this. How do you feel now? You finally heard him talk. All the Rodgers fans, you finally heard him say, oh, well, it's about the people. Like, just come out and say it, dude. Why do you have to beat around the bush all the damn time? Just say it. I don't like Goody. He screwed me over. He screwed over all my buddies. And screwed me over was the last straw. And I'm not going to let them push me out the door after next year. I want out now. I want to change the plans. It's what he said. I'm threw a wrench in the plans. That's great. I respect Rodgers for that. I think that's awesome. But don't try to tell me it's about the people. No, it's about him. The Packers have been successful for years because they realize, in some cases, when things need to be gone. Was Jordy at the end of his ropes? He kind of was. Was Randall Cobb an awesome player? No, he was a good player. Was Josh Sitton, was it time to let him go? You bet your butt it was. TJ Lang, maybe not. You probably should have hung on to TJ Lang a little longer. Colin Jenkins might have been, I don't know what the salary cap problems were at that point. They probably should have kept Colin Jenkins. He was a great player. All of you know, Micah Hyde, they should have freaking signed him back. That was dumb. But they thought they could draft guys, or they thought the guys they drafted that year were going to be something, and they weren't. They thought could be good or whatever.
Yeah, Nicko's mad about that one. That's why he's got the name on tonight. That's the one he holds against Packers.
Clinton Nick. I didn't even see that.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sorry I'm yelling, and I'm sure Bernard is really mad. Bernard, I like you, man. Come on, don't be mad at me. But what I'm saying is this. You can't tell me that this is all of this. It's the last straw out of all these different things. No. That's not what it became. It became his turn to get cut out of. He thought, if I say I want to be a Packer forever, and I play the company line, even though these things have been bothering me, eventually I will be untouchable. That's what he thought. He thought the Packers would be like, you know what? We're going to let this guy ride off into sunset. Well, we proved it. They proved it with Favre. They're going to be like, we got to replace you, dude. And now what happened to him? And he was like, wait a minute. I told you guys I wanted to be here forever. I told you guys I loved you. And now you're going to just crap on me? So he got all whiny and he's saying he's taking his ball and he's going home, which is something I would do. I've done that before where I got whiny and I took the ball and went home.
So why are you so mad at him then?
I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him for what he's doing. I'm mad at him for what he's portraying, for the reasons why he's doing. The people. You know, I just, all right. Everybody's the people. He wasn't concerned when they asked him about signing back Aaron Jones last year. What was his answer? You remember? It was, well, you know, I'm not. That's my job to worry about the salary cap and blah. But when Dave Bakhtiari got his extension, he was all smiles for his good buddy Dave Bakhtiari. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
and he
Oh, yeah, it was.
congratulated, and even
Yeah,
though
he
he was in
was.
this crap with the Packers, he congratulated Aaron Jones after he got
Well, yeah,
his
he did
contract.
because he knew he wasn't going to be here. So he was like, I don't care. Good
Oh,
go,
come
Aaron
on.
Jones.
All right, it's you've done enough now. I want to hear Nicko what he feels about all of Ben's speculation and talk here. Nicko.
I don't know. I think are you mainly talking about his interview on SportsCenter the other night?
Yeah. That's
That was
all. What else do we have to go by?
right.
That's
So
the
that
only
was
thing we have.
I watched that, and that was the Kenny Mayne final SportsCenter farewell to Kenny Mayne.
Yeah.
And when they brought him on there, Rodgers didn't want to talk about the Packers. He just wanted to talk about Kenny Mayne, and he was going to try and joke around and do movie quotes and do all this stuff with Kenny Mayne. And whenever Kenny Mayne would say, I got to ask you about this. And then Aaron Rodgers was like, we don't want to talk about that. So he wasn't trying to say anything. And they just kept, honestly, when I was watching, I'm like, he looks like he maybe had a couple drinks. He's out there in Hawaii having fun. And he's partying with the Hollywood people and all that. And it seems like he just, I don't know, just seems like he didn't want to talk about any of that stuff.
All right.
Well, then don't say nothing.
Fair enough. I think
He didn't want to say anything about the Packers. He kept saying, don't ask me about the Packers. Don't ask me about the Packers. He didn't even say that. He's like, we don't want to talk about that. He's like, this is about you. This is about you. This is about you. He just trying to he was just trying to say good luck to Kenny Mayne and all the fun times we had doing the main event skits and all that stuff.
Yeah, he was all excited about being naked and throwing cabbages and whatever. But who cares?
That's what he was on.
That's
there
not
for.
the reason why people watch that. Kenny Mayne. I didn't even know Kenny Mayne was still on ESPN because I don't watch ESPN. I thought Kenny Mayne has been gone for 20 years. I thought he was there in the 90s and he hasn't been back since. You told me Kenny Mayne was at ESPN this whole time? Because I never saw him. I saw Scott Van Pelt and I saw John Buccigross and I saw John Anderson, but I don't remember ever seeing Kenny Mayne anywhere. Not since the 90s. What's he been doing?
Main events, I think.
That's it?
Yeah, he didn't do a lot of
Well, he wasn't
for
worth the money they were paying him, so they should have asked him for a pay cut if he's only showing up to do a main event every now and again.
Right. So they had, they had the guests that were like his best friends, like Marshawn Lynch was on there stuff, and Fred McGriff talking about the Tom Amansky baseball videos from back in the day where they throw the ball in the garbage can and all that.
I've seen those. Those are awesome.
Fred McGriff's never seen them, but
he's in it. He's in it though.
Yeah, he said he's never seen it.
Oh,
that was the big reveal from that show. But it was just supposed to be a fun little thing, and I'm guessing that Rodgers said I'll be on there to talk to Kenny, but I don't want to talk about anything else. And then Kenny just kept asking him stuff.
Okay, but here's the thing: he did talk. So here's my question, Nicko. Before I came on, I had the thing on, and I was like washing my face and crap and trying to wake up.
Thank you.
And Nicko, you're like, oh, he's coming back. He's coming back. Do you honestly think he's coming back?
I think that if you ask Aaron Rodgers, what do you want to do next year? He's going to say, I would like to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. He has a contract to be the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. There's not really any great trades out there to be had these days. If you're going to do it, you should have done it by now. I don't know. Maybe they're going to go sign Julio Jones. Who knows?
Ugh.
But they couldn't have done the trade because of the cap situation.
Right.
So
well, yeah, but they could do it, but just not do it until later.
If Aaron Rodgers is not the quarterback in game 1 of this season, I think that the Packers should release the Goody.
Really?
Yep.
Strong.
I absolutely think the opposite. I think if Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback in week 1, they should release Goody.
Well, then he's screwed because one of us is going to fire him.
I don't think in good conscience you can take a guy who, based on what we've seen, is not in football shape. He lost 15 pounds. He's like 205 pounds. 6'2", 205 at quarterback. He's going to get crushed. As soon as he gets on the field and Billy Turner olays a guy, Rodgers is going to get creamed and he's going to get another broken collarbone, probably a broken femur, probably 3 ribs cracked. I mean, he's going to be dead. If I was Rodgers, I wouldn't come back at all because I'd be scared to death. I'm going to get killed out there at 205 pounds. You better put on some pounds. And he's not worried about it. He's hanging out with Shailene Woodley all the time, doing God knows what.
You do crazy stuff when you're in love. He's in love.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, Bernard says he does agree. Just shut up and play, which is fine. I mean, the one thing I'll say to that, Bernard, is Rodgers hasn't said much, so it's not like he's doing a bunch of talking.
No, but
It's not like the TO thing where he is big public distraction, saying stuff all the time in the media and all that sort of stuff. It's like he tried, this is out. And while people like Aaron Nagler still think that Rodgers planted this specifically on draft day stick it to the Packers, which again, I don't believe.
He did.
Because he said he was disappointed that they got out and they were trying to deal with it privately.
He's a liar.
There's a whole bunch of things that could have gone down that we will never know, right? Like the one point is this, right? They went through, like you said, Ben, prove it to them. Go out there and play awesome and be awesome, right? Isn't that what he did in 2020?
Yeah.
And then I just said
I don't have a problem.
No, I understand. But let me just say this for everybody else that's kind of forgetting this. Like he went out and did it in 2020. And then he went to the Packers and was like, okay, what are we doing? Because they didn't come to him and say, hey, here's the plan. We might take this guy, but we're going to work with you for the next couple of years. And then the plan is to have him in, like other quarterbacks, like Alex Smith talked about that stuff when the Chiefs drafted Mahomes. He knew about what the plan was. It's like, okay, well, I don't, it's not great for me, but at least I know what's going on. And anyway, so then Rodgers is like, fine, you want to play this guy? You draft him super high. I'm going to come out and show you how awesome I am. I did it. Now what's the plan? And the Packers were like, well, let's see if you can do it again. Let's see if you can do it again, and then we'll decide after next year again. And that's why he said, and so maybe the scenario could have been, well, when that happened, that was the final straw. And he's like, you know what? Screw you guys then. And then when they came back after, back after, like, okay, now we'll give you the big contract and all the money. That's why he's like, no, I'm not signing it now.
Right. And I respect them for that. And a matter of fact, I have less respect for the Packers because of the way they've been kissing his butt. Left and right. That's pathetic. And Bruce has said this. I've been talking about this since when? November? You can't win with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback with all that money and nothing else on your team.
But Za'Darius is motivated now this year because he just found out that he was left out of the top 10 of outside linebackers. Yeah,
I know. Well, he's not good. We've proven it. He sucks.
That was the Twitter feed you were supposed to get, Nicko. No, but he'll be motivated this year. We're going to get good Za'Darius this year because he was left out of a top 10.
Okay, well, we're still on Rodgers. Okay, what I'm saying is I am 100% behind Rodgers for doing what he's doing. I think he's being smart. And that's the thing. Like, people need to realize. I just think what bothers me is when I hear all these people say that, oh, well, he's just upset with all these different things and blah, 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 blah. And it's just, no. What happened was the Packers, tried to make the move to get rid of him. And he knows, and everybody knows, in a couple of years, he's going to be gone. And he's like, he's like, this is a bunch of crap. I want to be gone now. And that's a genius move. I got no problem with it. I think it's a good move. It's what I want anyways, also. But still,
that's why I say
it's not a problem.
You're getting what you want. I want Nicko's take on one thing, because now we're on all the speculative stuff. I'm
not speculating anything.
I want Nicko's take on this, because this is a real question about a real deal thing here. Nicko, yes. There are some Packers fans that are like, do whatever you need to get him back, make him happy and go, and the Packers have done some of that. They've been talking about how much they need him and how important he is and kissing his butt and doing all this stuff. As a Packers fan, longtime Packers fan, Nicko, do you think that is the right approach? The Packers should do whatever Rodgers wants to get him back in a Green Bay uniform.
Well, whatever he wants is a little bit bold. I wouldn't, they don't need to go walk through the streets saying shame and like whipping their backs or whatever, but he should be the quarterback of the Packers, and they should, I can show you videos of him saying, I want to be the quarterback of the Packers. Do you have videos of him saying, I don't want to be the quarterback of the Packers? No, you don't.
Yes.
There's a video of him saying, I don't want to be the quarterback of the Packers.
There's a video of him saying, the people, and it's the people, and it's the wrong way, and the philosophy, and it's the people. That's code. That's Aaron Rodgers' code for I don't want to be with the Packers.
That's you're speculating that. That's back to you're interpreting it that way. I think I think the quarterback of the Packers 3 years ago.
There's a guy by the name of Jason Hafeman. Okay.
Yeah.
He did this show on Wednesday night. It was called the Hump Day Packer Show. And on that show, this Jason Hafeman guy, he loves Aaron Rodgers as much as he loves his brother. Not more, but as much. And on that show, he said, guess what, everybody? Aaron Rodgers no longer wants to be a Packer. It's over. So if the guy who loves Aaron Rodgers more than anybody in the world says it's over, Nicko. It's over, dude. You got to wake up. Packer fans got to wake up and realize what's going on here.
Yeah, it's done.
The guy ain't coming back.
No.
He's coming back. LaFleur wants him back. Goody wants him back. Rodgers wants to be back. Everybody wants him back. He's going to be back.
Let me ask you a question.
How does that work? How does
Nicko,
that work, though?
Hey, Nicko, you've been a manager, right? You've been a manager of places.
Manager right now.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. Let's say you have an employee, okay, who is very good at their job. Really, really good.
Like the best in the whole league.
Okay. I don't know. What did you say?
The best in the whole league at their job?
Yes. And they were there before you. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a system, the way they do things, and it's been very good. Like top notch, always productive, always great.
Yep.
Okay. And the guy before you never got credit. The manager before you didn't get credit for anything that happened. Only this guy, this top notch performer, got credit. And then he pretty much forced that guy out of town. Okay. And then you came in.
Yep.
And you tried to implement your ideas that you think are going to work. And you're supposed to be the leader of this group. But this number one employee you have is like, nah, I don't want to do it that way. Or, I think we should do audibles. I want to audible your plan here. I think we should change this or do this or whatever it is. And not only that, but everything that this number one employee does, he kind of gets whatever he wants in the popularity of the rest of the group of people around. And you're kind of neutered, dude, or spaded, which I don't know which one it is for guys. I think it's neutered, but whatever, where you don't have the ability to run the organization the way you want. You can't lead the way you want because this guy is kind of leading the group against you because you're the new guy and you want to be the leader and you want to be able to take control. But this other guy is pretty much doing everything the way he wants. It doesn't listen to you anyways. And everybody follows him because, it's been successful the whole time. And he's been there the whole time. So how do you think? What do you think? Was that easy to deal with? Do you think maybe, Nicko, it's easier if you can come in and get everybody on the same page and follow you and allow you to lead? Because I think LaFleur's had enough. I think LaFleur is ready, and he won't say it publicly. And I think he knows. I think he's scared. I think it's one of two things. It's like, hey, I would love to be able to lead my team, do things the way I want, have the quarterback train him the way I want him to be trained, and also have him be able to do what he wants, but then, run the offense and follow me and have the guys believe in me too. But the other hand, he's like, I also know this really awesome employee is really awesome. And I would hate to lose him because he can make things out of nothing half the time. He could change things and see things that I maybe haven't seen. But when does it get to the point where this guy's changing stuff and you can't control it and you don't know what's going on and you want him to make a play, but you don't want to make a play. And then what happens is the NFC Championship game happens. You call 3 plays. The first play should have been a run, but he decided to change it to a pass to a guy who wasn't even looking for the ball. Then the next time he couldn't get in the end zone, and the next time he couldn't get in the end zone, and you decide, hey, you know what? We're going to kick because we just had 3 shots from the 8-yard line and couldn't get it in. Let's hope we can stop him again and get the ball back. And
I thought this was about Nicko's work. What's going on?
This is about Nicko's work.
Oh, okay. All right.
What do you say to that, Nicko?
Professional all time.
What do you say to that, Nicko?
I don't know. You asked like 97 questions in that.
You're the leader. You've been a leader. You've been a manager.
That was like
How easy is it to manage when one of the people doesn't want to be managed?
That was a Jason Wilde question right there, Ben.
Well, I'm just trying. I never really ask a question. I just say a bunch of stuff.
It's a strained analogy. So I'm pretty sure on this show I've heard you say that you've had new bosses come in and you tell your people what to do, and then the guy leaves.
That's right.
Go this way.
I respect Aaron Rodgers. I'm not saying I don't.
So the exact trouble employee that you want to get rid of is how you are yourself.
Yeah.
So you quit your job tomorrow because you don't really want to do it, I guess.
I can't quit my job, but
so it's a strained analogy because, in most businesses, you just kind of go with a little success or maybe a little bit of failure. There's not a specific winning. There's an objective winning in the NFL. So, if Burger King has a good year, McDonald's can also have a good year. But in the NFL, there's one team that wins, and we play to win the game, as we've talked about a lot. And if you don't think that there's employees at business places that are a high performer that get away with more people, get a lot more slack on them than the underperforming person, that's just not living in the real world. People, if you're the one that's bringing in the big accounts, if you're the one that's making the company money, if you're the best, you're going to get special treatment sometimes. You're going to get extra attention. You're going to get more money. If the company's running a certain kind of way, to me, when I see Aaron Rodgers, he's the MVP of the league, best player there is, best player in the whole league.
The last season, yes.
The last season, he was the most valuable player in the league. And 2 years ago or 3 years ago, whenever he got hurt, the Packers couldn't hardly score a point. They were playing that Browns team that lost like 100 games in a row, and that went to overtime. And they were playing the crappy Bears, and they could barely beat them.
Were they playing Aaron Jones?
I don't know.
Did they have Robert Tonyan?
Do you think that Aaron Jones and Robert Tonyan are going to be as good with Jordan Love at quarterback?
I don't know. But you know what? If I was a Packer player, dude, you know what I would be sick and tired of hearing? If I was a Green Bay Packer player for the last 25 years, all I have heard is I'm not good if my name's not Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers. Because they have nothing. They're putting the whole team on their back. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. It's all the quarterback. If there's no other players on the team, none of them are any good. But you know what? You know what's really funny? This is an interesting stat. There was I saw something on NFL Network today, or NFL.com. Robert Tonyan is the number one player in catch percentage over expected catch percentage, or whatever it is. He had a 16.8 a catch percentage above expected, or whatever. Number one in the NFL. Number 4 was Devonte Adams. So 2 out of the top 4 players, most consistent receiving threats in the NFL, Robert Tonyan, Devonte Adams. And guess who was the number 1 rated big play player in the NFL last year? Oh, I don't know. A guy named MVS. And guess who was top 3 running back or top 3 player in touchdowns, yards from scrimmage, and yards per carry over the last 3 years? Aaron Jones. But the Packers, Aaron Rodgers, he's doing it all by himself. He needs another receiver. He needs some more help. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? 2 out of the top 4 most reliable receivers in the league, the top threat deep, and the freaking one of the top 3 yards from scrimmage touchdown machines in the NFL. And you're telling me Aaron Rodgers has nobody? If I was a Packer player not named Aaron Rodgers or Brett Favre for the last 25 years, I would love to get a chance to show everybody, you know what? This team is more than one freaking guy. One guy can't make it happen. When the Packers won the damn Super Bowls, they had the number 1 rated defense. Not freaking best quarterback in the NFL. But then Brett Favre lived off that for years. Aaron Rodgers has been living on it for years. He's great. I'm not saying he's not a good quarterback. But if I was a Packer player, I would just be sick of it. I wonder what it's like right now in OTAs. I bet you those guys are like, hey, you know what? Aaron Jones, by the way, they asked him, hey, did Rodgers give you any hints that he wasn't coming back or whatever? And if he did, would you have not come back? And Aaron Jones said, I didn't know jack squat, but I was coming back no matter what, because I like being a Packer, and I feel like this is great. This is home for me. This is a great place for me. I love it here. I'm going to shut up. I'm sorry I talk so much. But what I'm saying is this. I'm just sick of everybody.
Wait a minute. You
loving
just
on
said you're going to
frickin'
shut up,
Rodgers.
and then you said
I can't
you're
shut
gonna
up because it drives me nuts. I see all these stupid national media idiots, and I see people talking about it like, well, you know what it is? That's all we're Packer fans. That's all we hear over and over. Oh,
you don't watch the right.
Aaron Rodgers, the whole team. They never give him any help. Are you kidding me? I just told you that he's got the top receivers in the league. He's got one of the best running backs in the league. That's bull crap.
You don't watch the right national media guys because there's plenty of them that don't say that.
And then
watch
everybody's like,
Cowherd, Skip, watch
like,
Eric
we got to trade for
Mangini.
Julio. We got to trade for Julio. They never give him any help. We got to trade for Julio. Are you freaking joking me?
No.
No, we don't want Julio. Julio Jones is not, he looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
Oh.
We don't want Julio Jones. Sorry, Nicko. No. I'm going to go on mute. Finish what you're saying.
Man, Nicko, any thoughts after that before we wrap up?
Unless you forgot what you were saying because I interrupted you and yelled.
With the good Bucks note, we got to finish with the good Bucks note.
Bucks are awesome.
Are we finishing? Is that it, or do you want me to talk?
You can do it. Do you have anything to say after all that, or?
I'm like, I don't think I watch as much Packers related content as you guys do. So everybody giving Rodgers a lot of credit. Who gives a crap? It doesn't have anything to do with how they do on the field. That's just people talking. And if you're just talking about reporters are saying this and reporters are saying that, I don't see any of that, and I don't care. I care about who's going to make plays on the field, and I'm down with Aaron Jones and Tunyon and all these guys and Adams. I think they can be successful. The thing that I always question is there's no one correct way to win in the NFL, or else everybody would do it. But it does seem like when you are close to the title, like making the NFC Championship game 2 years in a row, it seems like you are a pretty good team that's maybe one or two pieces away from getting over the top. And from the last 2 or 3 drafts, I don't think that Goody has that same approach to the draft of we are close. I mean, look at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay, every touchdown they had last year in the Super Bowl was by a guy that wasn't on the team the year before. They just won the Super Bowl, and every touchdown was by guys, Brady and Gronk and Fournette. They had all, and I'm not saying go sign 97 free agents either. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, I remember you guys had your show on with Corey Bayless, you were calling him almost a year and a half ago. And he was saying that the 2 seasons ago, that was a fluke season. They went 13-3, and they were the worst 13. He didn't say that, but people are saying they're the worst 13-3 team of all time. And I thought that they were close. Like they were stopping the run, being able to stop the run away from being a Super Bowl champion. And Gutekunst clearly is more on Corey's page of we're not that good. We need to plan for 5 years from now because we're not that close to winning the Super Bowl. And then when Aaron Rodgers throws the wrench in it, it's because he played so well last year that they got right back to that NFC Championship game instead of being like a 8-8 team or something like that, where they'd have been like, well, we need to retool. No, they're knocking on the door, and we don't take first-round picks who play. I mean, is Stokes our 4th corner right now? Is he our 5th corner? Is he going to – he's not going to start.
Nope.
And last year we took Love. Obviously, he's not going to start. And, he might not start this year either. And then the year before that, they took Gary, and he never played. Like, when you're knocking on the door of the NFC Championship game 2 years in a row, that means you need 1 guy, 2 guys to put you over the top. Like, we need – it seems like we needed a middle linebacker 2 years ago, and what do we need now? Probably a middle linebacker, somebody that's going to be fast and attack. And they, how much has their roster changed from that loss to the 49ers in the NFC Championship game? Who have they added that's a significant player that's going to push them from 13-3 and 2 playoff wins to 13-3 and 3 playoff wins? Nobody.
Yeah.
So until they change that, I'm okay with the process. Ben, you're talking about work. I'm spitting everywhere. I'm okay with the process of if you're going to be a crap team and you're like, we're going to go 0-17 and start over and rebuild, fine. I'm with it. Or if you're going to be like, oh, we're 14-2 and we're going to try and get one more guy, fine. If you're going to be like, Aaron Rodgers is our quarterback for 5 years, fine, whatever. Just tell me what the plan is, because they're acting both ways. They're acting like they're drafting like they're trying to be good 3 years from now, but then they're talking like they're trying to be good this year. And you can't do both. You either have to go for it, or you have to, say, Goody has to say, well, Jordan Love's going to be our guy 2 years from now, and we're not going to have Adams, and we're going to have these new guys, and we're going to go with a different approach. We're going to be a running back defense team. Fine. But don't act like you're trying to win this year with Rodgers and Adams and that team. You're either doing this or you're doing that. You're not doing both. Tell me what the plan is and stick to it and follow it.
That's the crux of the whole thing, the plan, and it hasn't made sense for the last 2 years, really.
They flip flop back and forth every year.
Exactly, flipping, flopping.
They don't know. Goody doesn't know, but Murphy does. They don't know what they're doing.
Well, they're just trying to stay relevant.
If we're gonna go on vacation to Hawaii, great. I love that. If we're gonna go to vacation in Alaska, awesome. I want to see it, but I don't know whether to pack a swimsuit or a winter coat, because you can't say we're doing both these things at the same time. I gotta be set to do one or the other. So whatever you're gonna do it, and then just go for it.
Yeah, right. And that's the problem. Is in January they were going to go to Alaska, and then Rodgers is like, "Nope, I want to go to Hawaii." So now they're like, "Okay, we'll go to Hawaii, Rodgers. Here's a bunch of money. Let's go." And he's like, "Screw you guys. You told me Alaska. I want Hawaii. Now you want Hawaii. Screw you." You're right. That's the way it's been over and over the last 3 years with Goody. They sign Aaron Rodgers to extension. Then they draft his replacement. Then he plays awesome. Then they tell him, we don't want you. And then he's like, okay, well, I'm not coming back. And then they're like, okay, we want you for 6 years. We want him forever. Here, sign a big extension. And he's like, no. And that's what's going on.
That's not a plan. That's a reaction. That's twisting in whatever way the wind's blowing. We're always trying to say the right thing. We're trying to make everybody happy. You can't make everybody happy. Say, we're going to do this, and we're going to do it. Because
of it, now this has got this big giant mess. It's Goody's fault, or Mark Murphy, one of those two guys. It's their fault. We all know it. It's not. I'm not blaming Rodgers at all. The only thing I say is, like I said, I don't believe all of a sudden now he's for the people. No, he thought he was going to be treated differently because he's a special player, and the Packers are like, we don't treat people different, other than Brett Favre. Sorry, and whatever. But now the Packers as an organization need to realize one of two things. Either we're going to go in this year, or, well, see, that's the thing. Rodgers ain't coming back for this year. He's coming back. He might come back for like a 5-6 year run, right? But then they have to commit to it, like you're saying. Or they need to just cut the cord and trade his ass and just be like, we're switching Jordan Love. We're going to be a running team. We're going to use LaFleur's offense. We're going to have Joel Berry defense. We're going to try to freaking stop people and do things that way. And do play action, run the ball, blah, blah, blah. But they can't keep doing this. Like, the thing that bothers me is because now when you watch them and you watch Goody and poor LaFleur, who's the only guy who's got to keep answering all these questions, and he's the guy who has no power in the whole situation. Rodgers has the power. Goody has the power. And LaFleur's the guy who's doing all the talking. He doesn't know what's going on. They need to cut the cord. And there's Packer fans like you, Nicko, who you want him to bring back Rodgers. And I don't think it's going to work because I don't think he wants to be here. You know what I'm saying?
Cut the other cord.
The Goody cord?
No, trade Jordan Love tomorrow.
Why?
Because then we got Rodgers and we got then no more.
Here's the thing.
The only thing that I'll say about that, because we should wrap it up here pretty soon, but I did want to say this. The thing that I thought about this is if Rodgers, because this is so messy now, and I thought, how does he come back? Even if they work it, how does he come back? How does this work? But you'll have a big segment of the fan base to be pissed off at him again, just like they were when he took over for Favre. And maybe he could use that to be like, you know what? Screw you guys. And I'm going to use that to fuel me this year to really turn up my game even that much more. And maybe that's what'll happen in the end.
He already did that last year.
And maybe they'll win a Super Bowl. And then the fans will love him again. And then he'll hand him the trophy and be like, all right, trade me, get me the hell out of here.
Maybe the Bucs will just win it. Then we'll all be happy. We don't have to worry about it.
That's true. If the Bucs win, I don't care what the Packers do.
Bucs got to do it this year. If you haven't been watching NBA, you got to check out the Bucs. And if you did not see the game 2 with the Heat where they just lit them up and played awesome as a team.
Hey.
Oh my God.
I hate Jimmy Butler. I've hated him ever since he was a Bull. And to see him suck that bad is so awesome. I freaking hate Jimmy Butler. That is so awesome.
All right. I was thinking more about all the Bucs draining all those shots, but that's
I don't even care about that. I just like seeing Jimmy Butler suck. And then just be all whiny. And after the game, he's all like, all pouty and crap. That's awesome.
He got blocked by Drew Holiday at the end of game 1, which is awesome. After Chris Middleton's there. Anyway, go watch the extended highlights of that because it's like super fun and awesome to watch how they just whip it around, open guys, shoot, drain it. Let's go.
Anyways, hey, I got one question.
All right. Jeez, I thought we were wrapping up.
No, we're not wrapping up.
All right.
Here's the thing that people need to realize. For all the fans who want Rodgers back and an extension and all this other crap, would you trade Aaron Rodgers for the next 6 years? Okay. And lose out on Robert Tonyan, Alan Lazard, MVS, Jair Alexander. Because there's not enough money to go around. By getting rid of Aaron Rodgers and letting Devonte Adams go after this year, or trading him now, which they should do, and get something for him, by the way, you will have enough money to sign the extensions for Lazard, Tonyan, number 1 target, percentage catcher in the NFL. Number 1. MVS, number 1 deep threat in the NFL. Number 1. Now, Rodgers is part of that. Don't get me wrong. Rodgers is a great player, and he's helps them do just as good. But you cannot deny MVS is fast. You cannot deny Robert Tonyan's got great hands. And Jair Alexander, number 1 corner in the NFL, by a lot of people say, at least top 3 corner in the NFL right now.
Hey, Ben, speaking to him, can you do some tape work for one of these off-season shows to see? Because I'm still kind of blown away by how high praise Jair gets. I still don't think consistently he's as good as all these people are saying he is, but maybe I'm wrong. So I'd like to, if you have time, like somewhere down the road when off-season, we could do a little closer look at Jair.
Yeah, but I'm just like, you understand what I'm saying though, right? I mean, the thing people need to realize is there's only so much money to go around.
Yep.
And remember, the Packers won the Super Bowls with a great defense, with a total team effort. The 96-97 team was a team. Yes, Brett Favre was the leader of the team and Reggie White. But a lot of times it was other guys making plays. Desmond Howard. The triumvirate of those 4 guys in special teams unit, Lamont Hollandquest, Bernardo, Keith McKenzie, Jeff Thomason, those 4 guys that nobody ever thinks about, who were the wedge so that Desmond Howard could return all those kicks and punts for touchdowns. It's those 4 guys who made it happen too. But nobody ever remembers those guys, but they were part of the team. And with 2010, Tramon Williams made so many huge plays. James Starks came out of nowhere to spark the running game. Double D was awesome in the Eagles game. BJ Raji picked off Caleb Haney, or else the Packers ain't going to Super Bowl, everybody. The Packers needed Jared Bush to get a pick in the Super Bowl. Forgot. Jared Bush had to get an interception for the Packers to win. Think about that. Jared Bush had to make a play. Remember, if you watch the thing back, you got Greg Jennings on the sideline. He's like, Jared Bush is making plays. Jared Bush is making plays, getting all fired up. That's what makes a team, everybody. You need everyone. And when one guy becomes bigger than the team, it doesn't work. It hasn't worked for 10 years now, people. We need a team. I want to be a Packer fan, not an Aaron Rodgers fan. And it's time. It is time. Kevin Green, RIP. It is time.
I think it's going to be time either way. So, but Nicko, there's still an outside shot. Maybe Maybe the money talks. Maybe Rodgers doesn't want to give up all that money, but we'll find out. We'll find that out. In the meantime, though, go Bucks.
You got it.
God dang. I love, another Buck I love? Pat Connaughton. Let him rock and roll, man.
Yep.
Dang. It's such a fun team. Go watch them. Milwaukee Bucks. Let's
They
do
still
it.
have DiVincenzo on there?
Yeah, but
He
he got
got
hurt.
Yes.
Yeah, he's out now the rest of the way.
I can't watch the games. I just get to see the highlights after.
Yeah, it's a bit.
I just like to see Jimmy Butler suck.
They've been pounding them the last couple of games.
Nicko, thanks for your time, man. Congratulations again. Being
Nicko!
a dad.
Vinny.
A dad of a now high school graduate and adult young man. Holy cow.
Hey, did you see? I saw Vinny's prom
Crazy.
picture. He had the same tux as Grant almost. Same color scheme.
Well, they probably mass manufacture those bad boys.
Ben, congrats to you too for being dad of an almost high school graduate and adult child, young man.
He's more adult than me.
18 years ago, I don't know if you guys thought that you'd get this far, but there you are. Congratulations.
I knew they'd get that far. I just didn't think I'd still be around.
Shit. Oh, you better be. All right. Hey, that's enough for tonight. Nicko's awesome. Thanks for taking the time, buddy. Take care of yourself. We'll see you soon, okay?
All right.
You guys stay well. Be good. Catch you next time on the Hump Day, Wednesday night.